people who come in your life sometimes to be there for a season. They weren't meant to be there always. Sometimes we find ourselves hooked up with people that we think are there for a lifetime, but they were only supposed to be there for a season.
Just Meghan Markle's stage. We're expected to buy it. But she said she was in the trenches. She alludes to being in the trenches when she was in the British royal family. Girl, you lived in a castle. Like, you got a princess title.
It was not intended for Tyler Perry to be the one to ignite the entertainment industry that evening. Everyone anticipated sparkle, glamour, and a few viral moments when they watched the 2023 BET Awards. However, no one anticipated that Perry, the quiet Hollywood tycoon and ardent admirer of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, would take the stage and deliver what amounted to a live expose. The meaning behind his comments cut through Meghan's carefully manicured image like a hot knife through butter, even though his delivery was not sharp. Every single individual in that audience understood precisely who Perry was referring to when he spoke about those who take blessings like they are owed, but never give them back. This speech was not your typical award show speech. This was Tyler Perry, finally breaking his legendary silence, the man who took them in when no one else would. The narrative of Tyler Perry and Meghan Markle actually starts in 2020, so let us go back to that year. In all honesty, you will be astounded to learn the extent of what this man accomplished for them. At this point, Meghan and Harry are essentially homeless superstars. Their departure was among the most spectacular in the history of entertainment. They have nowhere to go, no reliable source of income, and they are being pursued by paparazzi as if they were America's most wanted criminals. Tyler Perry rides in like a superhero with a millionaire fortune.
Buckingham Palace has confirmed that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will not be returning as working members of the royal family. Prince Harry and Meghan stepped down from royal duties last year.
They were not only given a couch to crash on by this man, we are discussing Perry giving up the keys to his $18 million property in Beverly Hills, along with all the extras. But hold on, it gets even stranger. Perry did not merely visit the home. He took care of their logistics, paid their power bills, paid for their security, and essentially made sure they had all they needed to blend into the background.
Meghan Markle recently said that you reached out to her and said, come, you can live in my home.
Yeah, it was a very difficult time for them. And what I know about the two of them, and I wish the world knew how much they love these two people love each other. They found each other out of all.
It was hailed as the most magnanimous move in Hollywood history at the moment. In order to aid two celebrities who were essentially radioactive in the industry, Tyler Perry, who hardly knew these guys personally, gave up his entire existence. During this time, Meghan was using Perry as her personal therapist, phoning him constantly, confiding in him emotionally, and essentially utilizing him as a safety net. However, this is when the idyllic friendship quickly takes a turn for the worse. Something really unsettling became evident as the months stretched into years, and Meghan and Harry began to sign those enormous multi-million-dollar contracts with Spotify and Netflix. The idea of repaying Tyler Perry for his extraordinary generosity was never discussed or even planned. Not even a thank you check, not even a dime, nothing at all on the radio. There was no need for Tyler Perry to mention names. He did not need to yell. Calm and collected, he took the stage at the 2023 BET Awards and delivered one of the most calculating and frigid takedowns in recent memory. He spoke simply. Some people take blessings as if they were their own, but they never give them back. It landed like a punch, yet it was neither loud or spectacular. Perry told a story of giving someone his heart, his house, and his assistance, and how they vanished as soon as they were able to support themselves. Just silence, no reciprocity, no thanks. Insiders knew the subtext right away. This was not some nebulous lesson in life. Perry never mentioned Meghan Markle by name, but the message was clear. It was the result of years of unspoken hostility between the two. After years of holding his tongue, he had obviously changed. Once putting his personal safety and reputation at danger to protect Harry and Meghan, the guy had finally made the decision to speak, not out of anger, but rather out of clarity and sadness.
For my help, some of y'all know the rest. I just wanted to come on and just tell everybody, just be as calm as you can.
Backstage, the speech caused gasps, and it immediately generated online rumors. Perry's words, as well as the precision with which he delivered them, caused a stir in the celebrity world. It was an obvious warning shot. It was not enough, even though Tyler Perry had already provided more than most friends would ever think to give. A mansion, complete protection, and unwavering support when Harry and Meghan left the UK. Several reports claim that a phone conversation that Meghan purportedly disguised as a straightforward favor was the tipping moment. She desired complete access to Perry's private jet without any mention of price, schedule, or the practicalities involved in moving an aircraft worth millions of dollars. Can we utilize it? Is all. Meghan allegedly lost her temper when Perry paused without saying no at all. She accused him of retreating, of forsaking their common goal. The inference? That it was an obligation to assist her, not a choice. Typically reserved and wary of confrontation, Perry did not mince words. Later, he confided in someone, "I understood this was not gratitude, it was greed." Requests became demands.
Meghan Markle is in crisis after a series of epic disasters, including the total failure of her tell-all interview with Emma Grede, allegations against her BFF and Lilibet's godfather, no less, Tyler Perry, and now this from her allies at People magazine, her favorite publication, which has gone public on Kate's summer of strength. Writing, there are some major shifts coming. As Princess Kate privately rebuilds after a year of cancer treatment, she's stepping out with a new purpose and the poise of a queen in waiting. Nothing's working. And People magazine, which she has just spent the past 2 years coveting, has decided to become Team Catherine all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see how things are shifting continually, always shifting to the downfall. Meghan can't ever seem to climb up to get above all the things that are happening to her, and anything that she does will continually fail. She cannot seem to rise above all the backlash that she gets. And I personally, Dan, believe it is going to continue to happen and get worse until she is able to make a reckoning for all the horrible things that she has done. No one's going to give her grace. No one's going to give her a real opportunity to shine the way she thinks she should be shining, because there is this immense amount of negativity that Meghan created off of the back of the late queen. And I think Meghan hasn't realized the strength, the power that the late queen had, because this is the reason how she treated the late queen and how she treated the royal family. People will never forget, but Meghan wants to keep trying, like people should just take this as a new moment and let her shine. It will never, ever, ever happen. She has done horrible things to a very powerful and beloved woman of the monarchy. She cannot move forward, ever. It's just not going to happen. But it is so fun to watch this happen because we see the payback now. The payback is how you are going to be received forever until you make a reckoning. So yeah, we love it. And it will happen continually.
Everything changed in that one instant. The man who used to open his doors and his wallet came to the realization that entitlement had taken the place of the friendship. What had begun as empathy had evolved into anticipation and ultimately abuse. The last turning point was this incident. People close to Perry claimed that as he took a step back, the mask slipped off, even if he did not go public right after. There were no cameras, no agreements, and no expectations of anything in return when Tyler Perry initially contacted Meghan Markle in 2018. She was unknown to him. They were strangers. However, he felt obliged to convey a silent message of support after seeing the headlines, the pressure, and the tempest surrounding her wedding. He wrote, "I am praying for you, and I know what this signifies." In a 2022 interview, Meghan recalled that message and said it stayed with her. She did not call though, then number. Later, when the stakes were higher and the necessity was genuine, that would happen. In reality, Meghan had emotionally coerced Tyler Perry for that mansion, something that most of you may not be aware of. You see, Meghan finally got in touch 2 years after sending that initial message. The year was early in 2020. She and Harry were living in Canada, alone and vulnerable, having recently retired from royal duties. Their location had been disclosed to the media, and their taxpayer-funded security was about to disappear. It was dangerous in addition to being uncomfortable. The call was answered by Perry. It was emotional, almost desperate. He said, Meghan sobbed in fear. He gave her the information she needed. She was right not to be afraid. It was important that she was safe. He offered her everything and likened it to what had happened to Princess Diana. His house, his safety, his defense, without hesitation.
It's like a web, an absolute web, whatever direction, you know. And as for Tyler Perry, the people are believing these things because he's connected to Meghan Markle. People are looking for the bad, and the bad seem to align themselves with the bad, and the good connect with the good, you know. So yeah, I just it's a royal mess.
At the time, Perry felt that providing safety to two individuals who had just left the most influential organization in the world was the correct thing to do. However, looking back, it was when it began. What started out as quiet empathy became into a deal that Perry never accepted. He was no longer merely providing a house. He was paying the bills, running the logistics, and keeping them hidden from the public while they closed off multi-million-dollar media deals. Perry, too, not a single one of the plans ever included him. He gave, waited, and said nothing for months. However, a revelation started to dawn when Perry subsequently confided in friends. They required more than a companion. They required a gate, a protector, a resource, and a name. And they disappeared when they were no longer in need of that. I provided my house, my help, and my emotions, Perry said, and I did not hear from them again after they got what they needed. It was not all betrayal at once. Slowly, it became apparent in unanswered messages, a rising sense of entitlement, and the quiet that followed achievement. As if he were her only hope, Meghan had sobbed to him. However, Perry became a footnote and a forgotten favor when the Netflix cameras began to roll and the Spotify checks passed. He never requested payment, but it was obvious from the total absence of recognition, the offer of reimbursement, and the lack of any kind of corrective action. He had been put to use. The appreciation was fake. It was not a reciprocal bond. They had taken advantage of him, and the most agonizing aspect, Perry had previously witnessed it in acquaintances, family members, and others who only phoned when they were in trouble. However, he did not anticipate it from them or from here. To keep them safe, Perry also sent his own private security detail. When that proved insufficient, Harry and Meghan engaged Gavin de Becker and Associates, one of the world's most prestigious personal protection companies, which is utilized by celebrities like Tom Hanks and Jeff Bezos. According to reports, that service cost about $8,700 a day. Perry did indeed cover it. The whole thing, the paparazzi never stopped. During their visit, the LAPD received reports of at least 5 drone incidents, with drones hovering within 20 feet of the house in an attempt to get a picture of the couple and their baby boy. Under Perry's direction, the security personnel responded to everything. According to several accounts, Perry spent between $140,000 and $200,000 on housing, security, and living expenses during this time, though he has never made the precise amounts public. The message is apparent regardless of how conservative or accurate those figures are. Without any conditions, Perry provided them with the stability, safety, and space they desperately needed. However, the lack of reciprocity became more obvious with time. Even though Harry and Meghan signed multi-million-dollar contracts with Spotify and Netflix, people like Perry, who worked behind the scenes, were never given any kind of financial recognition. There was not even a token gesture, no discussion of paying expenses, and no offer to refund.
Meghan Markle is in crisis after a series of epic disasters, including the total failure of her tell-all interview with Emma Grede, allegations against her BFF and Lilibet's godfather, no less, Tyler Perry.
Meghan found herself in a precarious position after Derek Dixon filed his sensational complaint against Tyler Perry, claiming years of SA and battery. This is the same Tyler Perry who, in 2020, when she and Prince Harry were in dire need of a somewhere to stay after abandoning royal duties, opened his $18 million property in Beverly Hills to them. In addition to providing lodging, Perry also paid for security, provided emotional support, and even became the godfather of Princess Lilibet, their daughter. In their Netflix documentary, Perry frequently spoke up for the couple in public, likening the royal family's behavior of them to that of a batterer. This woman was Aid, he said to Oprah, adding that Prince Harry also recognized the characteristics of A. However, Meghan has been noticeably absent from any public displays of support throughout Perry's most serious accusations in his career.
Who popped up in Meghan Markle's Netflix documentary with Prince Harry and absolutely tore to pieces the British royal family, indeed saying that he would not have agreed to become the godfather of Princess Lilibet if it meant attending the christening in Britain. Remember, that would have been incredible.
Critics contend that this silence exposes her actual nature as a person who takes charity for granted, but deserts supporters when doing so becomes inconvenient. Her silence actually questions her priorities and displays her selfishness, because she is aware that backing Perry may harm her carefully built brand, according to one royal analyst. The strategic vanishing pattern. Meghan's disappearance during the Perry affair is part of a concerning trend of her choosing to remain silent when those close to her are involved in controversy. Civil upheaval in Los Angeles caused her charity event commemorating her achievements to be abruptly postponed in June 2025, but insiders say the timing was ideal given the growing Perry scandal. One of Meghan's most important public engagements in Los Angeles this year would have been at the Natural History Museum, but she chose to cancel it rather than risk being questioned about her relationship with Perry.
Now, why Meghan is coming under pressure here is because she has a track record of throwing very significant friends under the bus at the slightest sign of trouble.
Her reaction to criticism of her Netflix lifestyle series, With Love, Meghan, is perhaps more striking. Meghan reportedly threw up her hands and said, "This is a thing in 2025?" in response to criticism on everything from her pricey Le Creuset cookware to her lack of culinary expertise. Her disbelief in the face of criticism exposes a person who craves recognition but vanishes when responsibility is brought. Meghan's public image is deteriorating, according to a number of surveys. According to a May 2025 YouGov survey, just 20% of British citizens still have a positive opinion of Meghan, while 65% have a negative attitude, the lowest percentage since polling started in 2017. Nearly half, or 46% of people in her own United States now hold a negative opinion of the Duchess. Her pattern of deliberate disappearances and strategic silences aligns with this sharp drop. Meghan disappears when the audience anticipates a sincere reaction to a real problem. She turns invisible when her allegiance to friends like Perry is put to the test. She shows confusion rather than involvement when her own projects receive valid criticism. Meghan's disappearance is having serious repercussions for her career. Reactions to With Love, Meghan's season 2 test screenings were apparently less than positive. According to reports, Netflix execs are in a panic since even her core fan group appears to be losing interest. In an apparent attempt to prevent conflicts with her other projects, her Lemonada media show has been postponed until 2025. However, according to industry insiders, the delay is a result of worries about her waning popularity and the possible consequences of the Perry controversy. According to a number of sources, Meghan-related projects are losing support from Hollywood financiers because of reputational issues. Hours after Perry's purported BET Awards remarks, one producer reportedly pulled out of a Netflix presentation, and another investor said frankly, "I do not want to be associated with something that feels this toxic." Meghan's reaction to direct inquiries about public opinion may have been the most detrimental. When asked what she would do to improve her public image on the Aspire with Emma Grede podcast, Meghan said, "I would ask everyone to tell the truth." This statement indicates a person who thinks that public opinion, rather than her own behavior, is the issue. To mark a new beginning, she posted a video of herself running on a beach and writing 2025 in the sand when she returned to Instagram in January 2025. Rather than engaging with actual concerns impacting those around her, it emphasized her propensity for performative gestures. There is more to Meghan Markle's purposeful silence during Tyler Perry's dilemma than just a bad friendship. It exposes a practice of deliberate invisibility that puts safeguarding one's personal brand ahead of genuine connections. A public perception of her as someone who takes but does not give, who expects support but does not give it, has been shaped by her disappearance when allegiance is put to the test, when criticism is offered, or when tough talks are required. Given her declining popularity and the lack of career prospects, Meghan's disappearance could eventually render her completely irrelevant. When the cameras stop rolling and genuine character is needed, Meghan's silence says a lot about her. Sometimes the worst thing you can say is nothing at all.
This individual appears to have been setting Tyler Perry up. They say that they are alleging that this is a scam and saying, quote, "Tyler will not be shaken down, and we are confident these fabricated claims of harassment will."
The team's aggressiveness and confidence in their legal response were very impressive. Boyd made no attempt to hedge. Tyler will not be shaken down, and we are convinced these bogus charges of harassment will fail. He declared categorically,